Loading, good internet, bad internet. Welcome in,
And back.
guys. We are back after a bout with the virus. Actually tested negative. Tested negative for COVID, so don't really know exactly what it was. Came down with a bug. Came down with a heavy bug and battled it off. Had strep throat about 3 weeks ago. Actually, came on the pod, sore throat. Then we had Rob go down, got attacked by COVID. Hospitalized actually.
Not
So
good, yeah.
yeah, we had a lot of the pod took some
Glad he's
attacks from the
yeah,
outside.
glad he's good. That's a rare scare. Not many people go. I mean, that's the small percentage that go to the hospital, but man, glad he's good. So
Yeah, so
God's
but needless to say, everyone has fought off the bug and we are back in action. Me and Mason tonight. Rob will be joining us probably next week. So yeah, welcome in, guys. Fun times await. NFL Week 13. I've been cashing some bets on World Cup. Loving that lately. Jason got his first World Cup wins today, so tip the hat there. And we start with Thursday night football, the Bezos game. As we know, it's Buffalo in Foxborough tonight, live on your TVs. They're about to hit halftime. I believe Buffalo's up 17-7. Nathan, we'll start with you here. How did you see this game coming in this week? Was this a good, better friendly game? And what was your analysis on Buffalo at New England? Bookies gave Buffalo 4 points this week.
yeah, definitely a Bills win. Divisional battles you do have to watch for, but I just didn't think there was a whole lot to overthink here. I think the Bills can kind of put this game away if they want to, or they you might see New England come back a little bit, but definitely not enough to win it. I just think Buffalo gets it done and moves a step closer. Playoff picture starting to carve up, so it's an important time.
Division rivalry. You can tell the bookies know that. That's a close spread. Needless to say, I said Bills cover. Bills cover all day on that one. They're covering the 4 now, and this is one where I had Dawson Knox and Ramondre Stevenson scoring. At the moment, none of these guys have gotten into the end zone, so it's starting to look like a bad pick. But both these guys have not scored in quite a while, and I thought they were long overdue for a touchdown. Of course, Damian Harris not suiting up for the Patriots. So Ramondre going to be the workhorse there tonight. Yeah, I like Buffalo. I mean, I don't think anything changes there. Buffalo's just the better team. Patriots had a better game against the Vikings last week, but the Bills have a much better defense than the Vikings, so don't expect anything different. Good division win for the Bills as expected. Um, wow, the Jets. Let's talk about Mike White because they're up next. Mike White and the Jets going into Minnesota at the Vikings. Bookies are giving him 3 points, and you know those 3 point games, we always drop it to 2.5 alt spread. But what do you have here? I got Vikings covering the 2.5, covering, winning the field goal, winning by a field goal or more. But Jets at Vikings.
Yeah, actually, this is a pretty exciting game, honestly. I like it on paper. The Vikings have a really bad pass defense, and the Jets are sort of on the rise, as an offense. And so um, it's going to be fun to watch these teams go head to head. I know Mike White looked amazing last week. He's had another good game, I think, last year that kind of put him on notice, but I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be repeated this weekend, just as far as how much success he had. I thought he was a lock last week to throw for 200 yards against Chicago. He looked like it, but the Vikings have so much more continuity. Kirk Cousins, that offense, Dalvin Cook, the health has been on their side this year. And I just think these years playing together is really shining through this season. And the Jets are just not going to have enough uh, of the same, right, of the continuity on their side to do this again this week. So I'll take Minnesota. I was on -1.5, but thinking about this game a little more, I like them to win by 7 or more. So absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a game that stays close till maybe the third quarter, and then Kirk might start to put it away. I like TJ Hawkinson here, big body. I think Sauce is going to be locking down Jefferson or taking a lot of the focus to that side of the field. Hawkinson should have a field day up and down the seam, so I like that. Um, for the anytime touchdown. And Vikings, I'm giving them the alternate spread because I just don't like that 3 just in case it's close. But I think Vikings do pull away and win by more than a touchdown here in that third quarter. Um, Broncos at Ravens is our next matchup, and it's a big spread. Hey, bookies are saying plus 8.5 at this point, and I'm gonna ride with the Broncos on this one with the plus 8.5. Ravens are good. I think they're kind of a little bit overrated. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be balling out per usual, looking for the contract. We know the controversial comments came on Twitter this week, where he was, clapping back at a fan who had said some bullshit. But hey, that's what it is in the sports world, Twitter fingers. So Broncos at Ravens. Man, Russell Wilson's been bad. He's been god awful, but do you think we get anything different here? Or is he going to fold against this Ravens defense?
Well, I mean, truth be told, I think Russell Wilson has been bad, but I don't. I think the Broncos' offense has been bad in general, and so I do want to point to that. It has been. So I think Russ still has football in him. I think he's capable of winning at a playoff level. I don't think that that's a question for me, but just as far as that team, man, there's a lot of questions, and you are right. I think they lose by less than 9, so you definitely would go against the spread there. That plus 8.5 seems attractive because the Ravens have at times struggled to put teams away this season. They're not quite as dominant as that Lamar Jackson team maybe 2 years ago or so that just sort of ran over teams on particular weeks. But I think they have enough to get it done. But this might be a trap game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos actually win it. So we'll have to keep an eye on this.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think they do keep it close enough. I mean, they stay within that spread window, but look, I just don't think the Broncos got it. They don't have the play calling, and Russell Wilson has not been able to overcome that. They have, I feel like, enough weapons, but maybe it's not. I mean, KJ Hamler's going to be hurt and not play this week. Jerry Judy's been banged up. I don't like what I've seen. I think Nathaniel Hackett's still got to go. I think this is I don't know how he's made it this far. But yeah, I don't know who to blame. As a Broncos fan, you got to blame both. You got to say, hey, Russ and Hackett might have to not be there next season. Something's got to change. So they still cover. I think the Ravens aren't good enough to keep that a blowout, 1 by 9. So yeah, give me Ravens winning this one 27-19, 27-19, 8-point game. Mark
Should be a
Andrews.
fun one.
Mark Andrews, look for the Mark Andrews touchdown. I like that one there. He's been banged up. Najee Harris has played well. Steelers have looked a little better, but they're still not impressive with that seller record. Steelers at Falcons. I think it's down to 1 point now, actually. Indoor game. Mariota, we talked about, not very good. Kenny Pickett, hit or miss. What do you got here? This is a coin flip game to me. I got Steelers money line and the Najee Harris touchdown due to him heating up. But Falcons, can they hold home field here against a Steelers team that's maybe finding their identity down the back half of the season?
Well, I've taken Atlanta a couple times on the pod this season, and I'm gonna jump back on them again.
And a
They've been
Falcon.
playing some good football. They really have, and that team is just really not a team that was supposed to play any good football. I don't think for any week this year. I mean, going into it, right? We all thought they'd be a doormat. So, I think a good bet on that is Atlanta plus 4.5. You'd have to see what the numbers are. A few days ago, it was a good value. I don't know if that's
It was
changed
up to that. I think
recently,
it's
but
down to 1 point. Yeah, it was, I believe, 3.5 points at one time, and now it's down to 1. Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's one I just had to say money line on, and I'm rolling with the Steelers because they've kept me in good water. So that's our 50-50 game right there. I think so far we had the same picks up until that point. So this
Mhm.
is where we're going to start to deviate. This next one's going to be interesting. We saw the Trevor Lawrence Welcome to the NFL game. Trevor Lawrence's first come from behind, impressive, anyways, win. To me, led the team down, went and capped the 2-point conversion. Jags at Lions. Two teams struggling, two jungle cats out there fighting. Who do we got? The fighting Dan Campbell's hosting the Jaguars.
Man, Jacksonville. Probably in a heartbreaker. I love what, again, we say this a lot. I love what Dan Campbell's doing over there. However, I can't see it happening. I cannot. It just seems in Lions fashion that if I pick them on this pod, they're gonna go out there and blow the game late. So yeah, I'm going Jacksonville, and I think Trevor Lawrence has another good weekend.
Yeah, I went Lions here just because I don't know if Jacksonville can come back and win on the road in impressive fashion. We know this Lions team will hang points quick. So that means Jacksonville's got to score quick. I took Lions money line, but hey, look for this to be your sleeper cell, America's game of the week. Like this could be one of those games where you go into the 30s with both teams scoring and we get an over of 60. So yeah, watch this game. I want to see Trevor Lawrence come back and throw another 300-yard game. And I expect the Lions to play the Jags well at home. Jags have a good defense, but Lions score. They score on people. So just can't finish games. They got to finish games. You know, that's what they've been their Achilles heel for the entire franchise history. Can't close. People retire
Yeah,
because of it. I know
it's
this.
sad. You hate to see it, but
I like
too many
Jamal
times.
Williams. Yeah, I like Jamal Williams to get into the end zone there and Lions to win. Give me a Lions overtime win. Does the game go to overtime? Yes. The Lions win in overtime 20-17.
Man, he read that like the tablets were just handed down from Moses. Man, if that's right, imagine what a
Hey,
snippet that would be,
man.
especially with a date stamp.
Yeah, time and dates. Damp it. Titans at Eagles. Eagles are getting 5.5. And yeah, it's not a plus game for me with the Titans. Look, I like the Titans, but it's in Philly and it's going to be cold on the road. And the Eagles hang points. And for that reason, they can easily beat a lot of teams by 7 or more. Derrick Henry's got to get in the end zone. He killed a big parlay for me last week. It was like a $600 payout, and he fumbled at the 1 yard line, and whoever fell on it. Like,
Oh, oh,
man,
that's so funny because I was with Nate before the Cards game, and I had Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, and Red Zone was on, and he's like he breaks out, yeah, and I'm like he's gone. Like I just see like nobody in front of him, and
yes, that
it
guy.
just fell out of his arms. I was like, no.
Yeah, all bad. Then he gets stuffed in the red zone a couple drives later. Not a game. It didn't make me. Yeah, no, no. So for that reason, Derrick Henry, I know he's pissed. He's getting in the end zone because of that. Guaranteed. Like, pull out your life savings, Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown.
Can you imagine? Man, this future's ruined. So
People DMing me, hey man, I mortgaged my house. I sold all my collectibles, sold my Pokemon card, and put it on Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. Fucking
man,
shafted me.
yep, just Liberty Mutual retirement accounts.
And then you DM him and he's gonna be like, fuck your parlays. Or whoever was that, J.R. Smith or somebody said that. Like, man,
Oh man, yep.
yeah. Just sorry, boss. Shouldn't have bet on me. But yeah, Derrick Henry, get in the end zone. We like it. We love it. So Browns at Texans. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, anytime touchdown. Welcome back. Browns cover 7 points. I'm giving it to him. Look, Lovey and the Texans, I don't think they're going to pull through. Davis Mills not playing. It's what, Kyle Allen, I believe, is the new quarterback for the Texans, is what I thought I've been hearing around town. So what do you got here? Deshaun Watson making his return to the league after a long time away. And who
Yeah,
better to play than in Houston? Like, it's scripted. You know the NFL is scripted. Go ahead.
yeah, no, that feels scripted. No, you're absolutely right. But I when we talked about this before, I really haven't changed my stance in that. I just think it's been such a long time since Deshaun Watson's thrown a football, and especially for 4 quarters, the NFL just moves so fast. Defensively, the speed of the game, and when you just go from not playing to playing, it's not smooth. It rarely is. So I think it's a bumpy ride. And I am going to take the Texans to win this game. Kyle Allen with a statement podium second half. The Aggie from Texas A&M, Scottsdale native, uh, could have a lot of texts incoming if he gets this done. But I just think the Browns, they're going to have a little bit of an adjustment period. He's going to have some accuracy issues. This is the week the Texans pounce, and Santa Claus Lovey with that fluffy gray beard he's got going on now, man. It's time to bring some gifts to Houston, so let's get it done.
Upset time. Upset time in Houston, they say. James Hooks chats in on YouTube's Pokemon cards.
What's up,
Says,
James?
as we
I
mentioned,
built my whole life off Pokemon. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Send some more money.
Pokemon cards. But yeah, guys, anyways, professional bet losers. I'm not a professional, so don't take any of our words completely credible. But hey, we do win some parlays sometimes. We're getting there. We are getting there. Won quite a bit this weekend, actually. So, Commanders Giants. Here's what's crazy about this one. Commanders are getting points. Commanders are the favorite in the Meadowlands. 2.5. I'm taking Giants plus 2.5. I think it's ripe for a Commanders loss. Giants get back on track. Anything different that you're seeing here?
No, not at all. I was a big believer in the Commanders last weekend on the pod, and that panned out. They got another win. I think Taylor Heineke's put together some good quarters, really. But yeah, exactly what you said. Giants should get it done. They need to get back on track. I think they're clearly a much better football team. Um, Divisional football gonna be a brawl. Probably gonna be low scoring, but Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown, and I think the defense just makes enough plays to put Washington away.
Yeah, Barkley's been impressive. Probably going to win comeback player of the year. Love that for the anytime touchdown. That game could be more of a blowout, actually. If the Commanders come in and win, hey, props to them. And, maybe we got to start taking them seriously as a wild card team. But until then, nope. Giants all the way. And Saquon Barkley to get in that end zone and hit pay dirt. Division rivalry in our next game heading up to the NFC North. It's the Packers and the Bears. This one is big because, man, if the Packers lose, they really have to just think about, hey, let's just tank the rest of the year out. And same thing, the Bears could say the same thing. Hey, let's just get a higher draft pick. Let's keep Justin Fields healthy and worry about next season. Maybe draft a better player and maybe next year get Justin Fields in the MVP race. But I just don't think it's the year for either of them. I like the Bears on money line here in Soldier Field and David Montgomery to get into the end zone. Bears, longtime fan, correspondent, controller breaker, and like
Jesus.
Cactus.
Two terrible teams this year. And I don't know, is Aaron Rodgers active? Do you know?
I believe he is. I haven't heard anything to indicate he's not going to play. I know there was rumblings of, hey, it's just time to just sit down the ayahuasca prophet and give the keys to Jordan Love for the season. I don't think it matters really. I mean, the Packers have not impressed, to say the least.
No. Um, Yeah, but no, I think the Bears defense, since again, and I harp on this a lot, but since Roquan got traded, it's too bad, right? They just can't stop anybody. So I think the Packers win even if Jordan Love plays, and Jordan Love is really bad. Statistically, he's just been terrible. So they should still win though, because basically it would come down to Trevor Siemian versus Jordan Love, and
Right.
one team has an average defense, and the Bears have probably a bottom, maybe one of the top, the last three defenses in the league statistically. So you got to take the Packers to just somehow win it, just playing pitch and catch out there in the rain, and Bears fall further. But their draft positioning is getting more and more attractive, so we'll have to see what they do with it, and hopefully don't just waste it like they do most years. So,
Yeah, it sucks when your team's bad and then your management doesn't draft well. Like that's such a bad formula. That's
Mitch
basically 10 to
Trubisky,
15 years of just bottom feeding.
Kevin White. I remember he was supposed to be a prophet coming out of WVU, and he basically sprained his ankle every training camp, and then like tore his ACL, and then
Broke his
came back
leg.
like
Yeah.
he came back completely healthy, like 100%, and just wasn't good. I'm like, wow, that's terrible. I'm like, it took like 4 seasons of him just getting better. I mean, this has been years ago now, but just an example of a
Hmm.
bad decision.
Yeah, you gotta hope things turn around for the Bears because Justin Fields quite an electric player. Rams Seahawks probably gonna be Bryce Perkins, John Wolford. Um, 7.5 is the spread, 8 points, and I Seahawks cover. Kenneth Walker. By the way, no Aaron Donald, which is why Kenneth Walker is gonna just go crazy. Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown, lock it up, throw away the key. No Aaron Donald, no Cooper Cup, no Matthew Stafford. It's in the spaceship though. Bookies say Seahawks are getting 8, and I'm giving them 8 and more. What do we got?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, well, here's the thing. If John Wolford started, does he hold on, is he even in the NFL, or are we just wrong about this? I know Bryce Perkins plays there, but is John Wolford still on the Rams for sure?
He
Because he
is.
got let
He's
go
been
at some point,
he,
right?
he did. I don't know, but he was back. He played a game and then he got a concussion. So
I just everything got so blurry like around that time. It was just John Wolford, Covert. Anyway, so yeah, basically, if John Wolford starts, I think they cover. Um, I think they lose by less than 8. Because he has some potential to move the rock a little bit. If Bryce Perkins is forced into action, I just think it's too early for him, and then yeah, they definitely get blown out by Seattle. Geno Smith just talking about the Bible after the game with 5 touchdowns if they play Bryce Perkins because the defense will never get off the field. But yeah, all right, so we'll see.
yeah, and then not having Aaron Donald is gonna hurt big. Kenneth Walker, a lot of rushing yards. Good fantasy week to start Kenneth Walker, by the way. Go ahead and plug that in. Dolphins at Niners, America's game of the week for a lot of people. Two explosive teams, pretty good defenses. Niners defense has looked fantastic last 2-3 weeks. This game, I think, is just going to be scoring and a lot of scoring. I think I got another overtime game coming on this one, and I took the Niners to win by a field goal. 27-24. Deebo Samuel gets in the end zone. I think Miami wins this if it's in Miami, but I'm going Niners here. I think Niners are starting to put the pieces together. But yeah, what do we got? Dolphins in the Bay.
Yeah, I like the Niners. Um, I think the Dolphins are on a hot streak and probably just going to cool down a little bit here. Uh, Definitely expect them to get right back on track, but I just think the Niners should be able to get things done, spread the ball around. I expect an efficient game from Jimmy G. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. Keep your eyes on that. Like I said, potential for America's game of the week. We have another division rivalry. Chargers at Raiders coming up. Another really close spread, 1 point. Flip a coin on the money line. Teams to me, two teams that really don't have an identity. It's like the Raiders are definitely worse. But what happens is that both of these teams have now started to play better the last 2 weeks. So it's kind of thrown a wrench in things. I don't know where to gauge them on the talent spectrum. Devontae Adams has been phenomenal. Austin Eckler's been phenomenal. And it comes down to the health of the quarterbacks. But who do you got here in Vegas? Chargers at Raiders. And I think last I saw spread was at 1 point.
Well,
Possibly.
I'm gonna take the Raiders to surprise people and get a win this weekend. They have been horrible. No shocking analysis there. They have just been bad for most weeks. But um, I'm just officially worried about the Chargers for sure, as far as like long term at this point. I mean, this is 2 years in a row now where you have a promising offense around a star quarterback, and they just continue to plateau and then go to a bad level of football. Um, Last weekend, I was in person there at State Farm Stadium for the game versus Arizona, and was just really underwhelmed with the fact that they needed that last second effort to beat a woeful Arizona team. This Arizona defense has been bad. The locker room chemistry is all thrown off. The head coach and quarterback relationships terrible. You've got ownership in question. Steve Keimwell just a sitting duck. I mean, if the Chargers had any bit of vote of confidence for me moving forward, they would have had to just dominate that game. The Cardinals have been hapless. So
Cardinals are the worst home football team. Like Cliff can't win
yeah,
at home
and
at
it
all.
took them a 2 point conversion as basically minutes were winding down to win 25-24. Um, Sad, real sad. So I'd like the Raiders to expose them once again this weekend, and I think Devontae Adams is going to have a big time game if you have him on your fantasy team. Yeah, look out.
Plug it in. Plug in the Devontae touchdown. Yeah, I love the Devontae touchdown. I also love Eckler to get in. He's been the guy with the most touches for the Chargers. Part of that, I feel like the Chargers' struggles has to do with Keenan Allen's been banged up quite a bit this year. I haven't been impressed with Gerald Everett. The rest of the Chargers, I feel like they need some more pieces on offense. They do. Mike Williams is there, then he's not there. They're a couple pieces away to me, and Herbert's got to be healthy. We know he got hit in the rib early on in the year. We don't know how much that's affecting his performance play, but yeah, something's missing. Something's missing from the Chargers. I just think the Raiders are the worst football team, so I took Chargers money line, but this is a very close game, like back and forth, could be high scoring, could be a lot of turnovers, but very close game, another field goal game, maybe a 1 point game. This could be your 21-20 game, 28-27 game. Um, but yeah, if you want to get in on the props, Austin Eckler touchdown, Devontae Adams touchdown, guys that are seeing high usage rates in both offenses right now, which have clicked when they've been given the rock. So look at that. Look at those numbers before you guys place that and see if you can get some parlay action going on. Chiefs at Bengals. This one is a generous line from the bookies. They're giving the Chiefs just the field goal, and it's the 2.5, not the 3. So I'm riding with it. Chiefs field goal. Chiefs at Bengals. So they're on the road. But what do you see here? You like anything with the Bengals?
No, I like the Chiefs, man, to keep rolling. Superior football team. It's that time of year where championship teams start warming up. You have to guess that Patrick Mahomes is in there giving a fiery Kermit speech before the game, and they just ratchet up another
Absolutely.
dub. Yeah. Joe Burrow, though, let's give him some credit. He did bounce back. Really slow start to this year. A lot of question marks. He comes back and he looks good, but I think we're going to have a nice little shootout. Over 42 is definitely the safe bet to me, and Chiefs getting it done when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what, the Eagles have done and people talk about the 49ers and Cowboys, Chiefs to me are still the best team in football. Look, they got everything that's complete. They've got a quarterback and a coach that have been to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl together. Travis Kelce and Mahomes are on fire right now. Pacheco looks great as the starting back. They got Juju, they got Kadarius. There's weapons galore over there. I just don't think they can be stopped. I haven't seen enough from the Bengals defense to stop these guys on offense. And Joe Burrow, again, attack is on. People are after Joe Burrow. That Bengals line is not the best. It's a little better than it was to start the season, but it's not enough to beat the Chiefs. Even though they're at home, I like the Chiefs to beat the Bengals in their home stadium. So Chiefs cover the field goal. I think they win by much more than a field goal, but we'll leave it at that to be safe. Isaiah Pacheco is my anytime touchdown in that game. Cold weather. Um, Colts and Cowboys, another disaster game, I think, coming up for Jeff Saturday. It's in Jerry Stadium. Cowboys are getting 11, and I'm giving them all the points. Tony Pollard to get in. What do you got here? Colts at Cowboys.
Well, I don't like 11 points. I just think it's too big for me to trust the Cowboys with 11 points. Whew, it's a little nerve-wracking, even with the Colts being the Colts. So I do think they probably win by exactly 10, and everybody who takes minus 10 and a half is just writhing at a cocktail bar. But yeah, Cowboys should absolutely dominate this game and control much of the clock, really, because Jeff Saturday, it's pretty obvious he struggled with the clock management. That really showed up in last weekend's loss. And um, I think that the Cowboys, they need to start putting their heads down. They need to carve out that playoff picture. If they want to be involved, I think this is a big game for them to win. Get some steam going into December and Christmas. So we'll see. There's some distractions going on with Jerry Jones. Dak still hasn't really had a full season of football in front of him, so he's kind of still brushing up. But I'll take Dallas 27, Indianapolis 17.
27-17. Love it. Seems like a good pick. That wouldn't cover, unfortunately, but yeah, that would if you're on the Colts side of the
He
wagon.
said wouldn't
Sure.
cover. Yeah, man. Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, man.
I do like CeeDee Lamb to get in the end zone there too, because I just don't know what the Colts got over the top. And McCarthy could give Saturday some headaches, I'll tell you that. But that is 11 is hefty, hefty, hefty spread to cover indoors. Our final game, the Monday night game, Saints at Buccaneers. I think the schedule's starting to get easier for Brady and the Bucks, courtesy of Goodell. You got to get the goat in the playoffs. They weren't going to let them not make the playoffs. Saints are starting to slip, and yeah, Julio Jones. Let's not forget he played a long time against the Saints in that division with the Falcons, and I got him getting into the end zone, looking healthy. Buccaneers cover by 4. 3.5 is what the bookies are giving them. Anything telling you otherwise?
Well, I got a surprise right here. I mean, no surprise that I'm a fan of them, but I've never had this prediction on the pod. I don't believe. Rashad White, anytime touchdown. I think this is finally the week that he gets it. Um, he's been more involved lately in the passing game, finally. He gets more touches in that offense. But yeah, I think this is the week he gets the TD. Just one of those weeks where everybody throws in on Julio and it's mainstream, and then they just freak out when Rashad gets the first touchdown and is watching be the first touchdown of the game, and everyone's like, no, like if you're not an ASU fan, you really don't follow him. You
Yeah.
don't know who that is. So really funny. That could definitely be the case. But yeah, I like what you said about just the Buccaneers finally starting to turn it around. I absolutely agree. The schedule has been a factor. And like you said, there's no way the league can allow Tom Brady to. I mean, not after that divorce. I mean, he fucking
Oh,
divorced his wife, man. He
they,
better get to the
they
play.
lost. Has he lost since then or no?
I think they
They
have.
lost last week,
Didn't they
right?
just lose to the Browns? Yeah, they just
Yeah,
lost to the
they did.
Browns. But they've looked better, like in the last 2 weeks before that than
I
they
mean, I
have.
was gonna
So
say it was so scripted. If that meme just continued, just undefeated since the divorce, and he just kept rolling, man, that's all it took, huh? One big highlight I wanted to touch on last week and we saw it work in both games to the team's benefit, but going for 2 when the game is potentially tied to end the game. Jacksonville did it, and then the Chargers
San
did it.
Diego, well, not San
Teams
Diego,
won.
LA Chargers, but yeah.
Straight out of college, but hey, it works. It's a play from Madden, but it works, and I think we start seeing this more because 100% success rate last week watching it.
Especially for those teams that just have nothing left to lose, like Texans, Bears, Cardinals, Packers. Like at this point, in fact, if I'm them, I'm going for every 2-point conversion because the season's
Yeah,
over.
it's gonna
It
be
is
like
absolutely over.
it'll be like the three in the NBA. Just the league has changed. Everybody goes for two now, just every time. I guess it's fine.
Hmm.
We'll miss one of them, but hey, keep going. Um, Big slate of games. Only two bye week teams: the Cardinals and the Panthers. Two teams that definitely need a bye. Teams that aren't really doing anything and pretty much need to shut their seasons down. A lot of controversy around the Cardinals, of course. Kyler Murray comments about strategically we're just fucked. Um, Patrick Peterson
Good. As a
talking about
coaching
Kyler
staff, I
Murray.
mean, man, Cliff just has to know he's gone for sure. Like if you didn't know that already, like when your quarterback just says schematically, we're effed, not good. A
Yeah,
bad testimony.
yeah, and then of course the chatter between Patrick Peterson on the Vikings now and Murray. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think the Cardinals, yeah, they need a new coach, and if they get a new coach, they gave Kyler that big contract. You gotta see what happens with the new play caller. But if that doesn't work, then you got to start thinking about moving on. Um, wow, it was a crazy week. I'm excited for it. Like you said, more football. Been a great time for sports with the World Cup going on, and then NFL, NBA, college football wrapping up, and massive news today, which we heard Rose Bowl starting 2024, 12 teams in the college football playoff. We are expanding. The fans like it, love it. They want more of it. Yeah, give us your thoughts on that before we close out the night here. College football expanding to the 12-team format at the start of the 2024 NFL or NCAA football season.
Yeah, really excited. As anybody is, I think that follows the sport. More games, more fun, more opportunities for upsets, big moments. I mean, that's really what you want and look for as a fan. And here's what's really cool about it is I think everybody, not everybody, but I could say a lot more people would be able to say there's been multiple times in their life as a college fan where their team has finished ranked in the top 12. For example, myself, huge Arizona State fan, there's been more than two or three times that they've ended the season ranked 11 or 12, which is really cool now to know they could be involved. You get to that spot, you're involved in the playoff. And a lot of fan bases can say that now because that's not a unique positioning to be within the top 12. It's doable. So now we're going to start opening the door for a lot more invites, for these schools and these fan bases. Just really exciting stuff. I think we're still going to see those core four SEC dominated names and Ohio State, Michigan subbing in and out for
Right?
each other. But man, a roller coaster ahead for sure.
Yeah, I know. Just looking at the layout of this year, I mean, we're not going to see Alabama this year. We're probably not going to see Ohio State this year in the playoff. So if that were a format this year, teams like that would be in there. You would get to see, Bryce Youngs and Bo Nix and all these other guys possibly make it into this playoff, and it'd be huge. So it's big for the game. It's great. Can't wait to see it. And of course, from the sports betting perspective, guys, we're getting like an additional 4 to 6 games. We're getting an additional
Oh,
6 games
I'll
to
tell
end
you
the
what you
college
gotta
football year. So wow.
love real quick though is this will be not so nice is the first 12 team college football playoff. This Edelweiss got to hit up Edelweiss and just order venison hogs and banana beer and just watch like Louisville play whoever. Like that's gonna be
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Gonna be good. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And then the NCAA football game, I believe, also comes out in 2024. Um, so it's gonna be a great time.
Oh,
It's gonna
that's
be a great
right.
time for college
Damn, it's
football.
back. It's
Yeah.
back because NIL. I forgot that wasn't just some like dream, like a fever dream, because it just hasn't been back in so long. Like I remember the announcement, but man,
Yeah. Yeah, guys. NFL week 13. We'll jump back in. Game's probably about over, so I'll tap in and check the score if anybody knows. If Dawson Knox or Ramondre Stevenson have scored, let us know. But we'll check in now. And yeah, thanks for joining in another week. We'll be back next week. Rob will probably be joining us, back and healthy. Everybody's back, battled off the bug, made it through Thanksgiving,
Yep.
and Santa Claus season is right around the corner, guys. Avatar Way of Water coming out soon. So
Till
yeah,
next time.
prepare yourselves. Have a great night, guys. Fun times await. We'll see you around the internet.
Later.